In the last tutorial 2.3, we learned how to force the enemy king into a corner by just using our queen. And even though we are checkmating using our queen and knight, the point here is to be able to plan this before moving any of your pieces. I want to checkmate the enemy king in this corner, on this square, or on this square. And the king needs to have two squares to move back and forth, otherwise you're going to get a stalemate. And to do that, we need to have the queen here. And we know from the last tutorial that we're going to be able to force the king in that corner with the queen on e7 just by using the queen. And the checkmate square is going to be right here. But if we move the queen there, the king is going to take it. So the queen has to be protected on that square. And we're going to protect the queen with the knight. Now we already know how the knight moves, so for the knight to protect the queen on g7, it's going to have to be placed either here, 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 or here. And for the sake of argument, we're gonna try these two squares here on e6 and f5. So the big question here is, can you plan ahead? Can you see where the knight has to move to reach one of those squares? There are numerous ways to do it. We could, for example, move the knight here, here, here to reach the square, which would then protect the queen. Or we could, for example, move the knight here, here, and here, and it can choose if it wants to protect the queen from here or here. I think it's much easier to learn how to plan ahead when there are a few pieces on the board, and it's an easy way to learn how to coordinate your pieces and also how to protect them. Let's put our plan into motion. We learned how to force the enemy king into the corner just by using our queen in the last tutorial, but first we're going to move the queen here, and by doing that the king cannot move towards your queen because it's going to be in check. It has to move back somewhere. Right? Same pattern. We haven't put the enemy king in check one time. We have just forced him into the corner. And we have to remember now that we cannot move our queen here because that would be a stalemate. And we are leaving these two squares open for the king to move back and forth. Now is when we start using our knight. The king can just move back and forth. And now you see the knight is protecting this square. Because he can move there, it's also protecting that square. And we have a checkmate. The king cannot take the queen. The queen is protected by the knight. And that's how you do it. Or one way to do it.